Good Thursday morning, everybody. Chris Allen with your weather podcast for this July 18th. The heat and humidity continue. Yesterday, we had a high of 94 degrees. That happened at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon at the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport. 90 is where we're supposed to be for a high, so we were only 4 degrees above average, but of course, when you throw in that humidity, that muggy air, it made it feel like it was like 10 degrees hotter than that, like 104. At least that's what the heat index reached at one point yesterday afternoon. That is dangerous. We haven't heard of anybody really suffering any kind of heat exhaustion or sickness or stroke or anything around here anyway. I think everybody is taking heed and listening to the advice just to take it easy if you're going to be outdoors. You know, put off any of that yard work. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting off mowing the yard. I'm not going to get out there and do this. I know that my body will not take it. I know the yard needs to be mowed, but it can wait a couple of days. It's not that big a deal. So those of you that are construction workers or farmers or have to do something outdoors, you just have to be out there, and that's your job. That's what you do. Man, I hope you have plenty of cool water and you're under some kind of protection from the heat of the sun, direct sunlight, got some shade or have some ventilation, And yes, check on the pets and the elderly, but that should be common sense. Anyway, best advice, that's going to apply again today and probably tomorrow. Now, we did see a few isolated showers pop up yesterday afternoon, and we're expecting a few more of those today, but they're so few and far between. They're just, kind of peppered here and there. So not everybody's going to get rained on, not until about Saturday. And then things begin to cool down as we go through time. Again, the numbers, 94 yesterday, 90 the average. 73 was our low temperature. 1 year ago, we had a high of 95 and a low of 77 back in 2012. Of course, we've had no rain at the Bowling Green Airport officially for the 24-hour period. But as I mentioned, some of you did pick up some of those isolated showers yesterday. And we're still on track for being one of the wettest Julys on record. And an interesting statistic came out yesterday that, the tornadoes, the statistic for tornadoes in 2013, we're off pace as far as average, what we should be averaging from, say, the first of the year to now. Tornadoes are down like 38% from average. That's incredible. The tropics are quiet, relatively. I mean, there's a couple of little waves out there, but the tropics are quiet. Tornadoes are down by 38%. We've had an unusually wet and an unseasonably cool June, at least in our part of the country. And yet, the climate changers, the global warmists, the warministas, they're saying, oh, it's the worst ever. Man-made global warming is the worst ever. Really? Quiet tropics, tornadoes down 38%. Unusually cool June, part of July, wet. Really? So global warming is the worst it's ever been. It's only getting worse. Why don't you just be quiet, okay? Until you can prove it, they still can't prove it. They still have no proof. They want to say the Arctic ice melting and all this kind of, it melts. Then it refreezes. It's the Arctics. It always has. It always will. It has nothing to do with man. The earth was created for us to inhabit and to do what we do. These are alarmists. These are people that want money for their research. And all they want to do is scare you to death so you'll give them money. So they can do more research, so they can do more fear-mongering. It's just ridiculous. It makes me sick to think about how they just shove this stuff down our throats. And one of the worst offenders is the Weather Channel. That's all you hear if you're watching the Weather Channel, how we're ruining the planet. I mean, this stuff started a long time ago, way before them, but it's just being carried on and on and on and on. And I'm the one that's being called irresponsible. I'm the one that's being told I don't know what I'm talking about. All the way from the New York Times to read a blog here and there, whatever. I don't care. They can't. What can they do? They can just rip me to shreds. But here's the truth. They have no proof. None. So, yes, there's heat in the Northeast, and there are people suffering because of the heat and humidity, and there's people without water because of water main breaks and stuff like that. But this kind of thing happens every single summer. Mid-90-degree temperatures, heat and humidity. It's summer. Has nothing to do with climate change. And anyway, that term is just, climate does change. So to use the two words together is really, it cancels itself out. It's crazy. These things are not that difficult. It's not that hard. They try to make their case in every way they can, and it's really simple. The earth was simply made and simply constructed, yet it's so complex that sometimes we try to overthink it when really it's not that complicated. So, here I go. I'm getting on the soapbox, and I'm already 7 minutes into this. Okay, the forecast. Hot and humid today, typical summer stuff. 30% chance that you could get a shower thunderstorm this afternoon. High at 93, and like yesterday, the heat index could reach around 100 degrees. It's going to be a day just like yesterday. Who gets rained on is the big question. It could be just here and there. 20% chance, warm and muggy tonight of an isolated shower. 74. Tomorrow, same as today. 30% chance of a shower, hot, humid, 92. It is Saturday when we get a decent chance of rain in here with an approaching cold front. The rain chance at 60%. 60% chance that you will get rain. A high of 91. Thunderstorms are likely, some heavy downpours. 50% chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 87. Somewhat cooler air starts to work in here. We get back to a little bit below average temperatures. But we're going to continue with at least a 40% chance of showers Monday, Tuesday, with a highs upper 80s to near 90. Wednesday, back to a 50% chance of showers and a high of 87. So a bit of an unsettled pattern here once again, above normal rainfall in July. And the trend in the next week, late next week, as you'll see in my blog post, I've got a picture there, a graphic of temperature anomalies. And what that means is, how far off average will temperatures be? And we're going to totally replace the heat dome, the heat and humidity that's over the Northeast and the East, with unseasonably cool weather into next week. How about that? Yep, it's an anomaly. It's happened before, but it has nothing to do with any of the climate change and global warming and blah, 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 blah. Okay, enough of that. Have a great day, everybody. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Have a great day. God bless you. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. Know the weather before it knows you. Have a great day, and I'll see you live at 5:30 on AM Kentucky and streaming live to WBKO.com.